Magpie Mama, and welcome to my channel. So today, well this evening, I'm off out adventuring a little bit. I'm going to the screening of a film called Embrace by the Body Image Movement. Now I'm really looking forward to it. The person who made the film is actually going to be doing a Q&A afterwards, so it's going to be really super exciting. I don't even know much about the film. It was funny because it just kind of popped up on my Facebook and I was just like, ooh, I need to go see this. I really need to find out a little bit more about what it's on about. So I'll be filling you all in soon.
Oh, you make me cry. Thanks so much. It's so good to see all of you here. So did you enjoy Embrace? Yeah, it's really funny for me to talk in front of a bunch of you and you've all seen my nipples, and they exist because of 8,909 Kickstarter pledges a couple of years ago. I would love to open up to questions. We'll go to DVD, but for now the way we're distributing is through Demand Film, and if anyone wants to be a host of a screen here, you put up your hand, you gather your friends, you have a night like this, and it's I think it really puts everyone in a position of power to do something, because I think as individuals we've endured for such a long time the really toxic messages, the messages that tell us that we should be something other than what we are, but by coming together we can really show our strength, and by collaborating we can push back, because it's serving no one having billions of dollars spent every year on making women feel insecure. It really stinks. But the good news is, in this body image movement that is just, it's just beginning, but I can see where this is all going. Having spent 2 years now on the road and talking to women and men too, but mostly women, we want change. We are done. We've had enough. We don't want to see our young girls sexualised. We don't want to be objectified. Violence against women is a huge issue. We're done. So if we can come together and do screenings like this, beautiful things will happen. It already has begun. I think it's begun. I certainly see some changes around. In terms of ad campaigns and what you see in shops, there's the token girl or woman who looks different from all of the other, structured look and feel of what a model looks like. But I think we are pushing back against that. Also, don't forget, we hold the power. We have the money. Where we choose to spend our money is really important. And I reckon there are companies that are going to make the change because they feel like they're forced to make the change because of the rumblings through our conversations. And then there are the companies that do it because they authentically believe in women and love women and want to do the best by their customers. And that's up to each and every one of us to seek out those companies who are doing it well and support them. That's how we'll get the change. And get every single person you know watching race. It could be about beauty or health, or even what we're meant to do with our lives. In terms of body image, we are not meant to spend our lives being at war with our body. It was not the sole purpose of what we're here to do. And so many people are wasting, hours and days, and some people their lifetime, worried about how they look. We're completely imbalanced as a society where we've forgotten, how we really should value a human being, and that is on who they are and how they contribute, and their good manners or their humour or their humility, their compassion, their kindness. That's what I'm teaching my children, to have the foundation of those kind of values. Not how hot you are or how sexy you are or your thigh gap or your, and I think we've got a lot of questionable role models. And as I spoke earlier, diet industry, cosmetic industry, beauty industry, spending billions of dollars making us feel a certain way. We've got to come together. And I think the other thing is to judge less and, love more. In this whole body image movement, there's no space for judgment, right? So if you get Botox, great. If you get surgery, great. You make your decisions and you do what you do. If you're larger, if you're smaller, if you eat donuts, if you eat clean chicken and I don't know, salad. Who cares, right? Who cares? We need to start respecting everyone's choices. And I think there's a real lack of compassion and kindness in our society where we're so quick to judge a larger body, for example. But we don't know what's going on for someone. So in terms of what we do when we leave here and how we can be part of this movement, it's embracing everybody for who they are and just end the judging. You know, in your circle of friends, make up a pact. I'm never going to talk bad about my body again. I'm never going to judge anyone else's body again. It might take some time to get your head around that, especially, you know, if you've given yourself a hard time for most of your life, which is the reality of most women. But what will happen is you'll start to feel good about yourself. And that is the key to this movement, because it's so infectious. And then you've got your buddies around you supporting you, and even strangers, you know, out in the street. This is how this movement will grow. Judge less, love more. Sounds very woo-woo. I'd never say it in an interview. That's the truth. Okay, so, I mean, you can take back control, and it's something that I talk about in schools. Oh, why am I hot in the UK? Unfollow accounts that don't serve you. Yeah, you know, like if it doesn't. Yeah. I always ask girls when I go to schools, I say, let me see your feed, let me see who you're following, let me see what's looking back at you every single day. And it's so very often these transformation and these bikinis and bikini diets or role models that I question. I just ask them, so why do you follow this person? Yeah. Does this person inspire you to be a better person in the world? Tell me about that. And they're like, oh, she's got a hot body in a bikini. Yeah. I'm like, right, and how does that make you feel? Probably not great, she'll say. So, I mean, I think that's a lesson for everyone. I love social media because if it wasn't for it, I might still be talking to 20 people in a hall like this. Get her on a bigger stage, let's float to people. So I love it because it's positive for me and it's a really great way for lots of people to connect.
I was just sort of wondering what's your opinion on the selfie?
Yeah, sure. The selfie is really interesting because I think if you want to share something, which is not, oh, look at me, look at how gorgeous I look, but share something like, I'm wearing a dress tonight, I'm not wearing my thongs, you know, I've got like a bit of makeup, hey friends, like, you know, I think you need to come back to the reason why you're sharing it. If you're sharing it because you're desiring likes or you want people to recognise and say lovely things about you, I would discourage selfies if that's what you're doing. But for the younger generation, and I say this only because I've spent a lot of time with them recently, there is a lot of that goes on in terms of selfies. It's not sharing a message or sharing a story about where you are and what you're doing, it's about what they look like. So I always question the motivation for a selfie. Did you sneak in?
I just sneaked in. I was just wondering how you deal with the pressure of like the weight of the world, because I see you and I want to talk to you about something and then I want to cry, so I imagine you must get hundreds of people coming and crying at you. How do you cope with all that?
Well, it's not just me, right? So, I mean, over the last few years, in the beginning I cried a lot because I knew I wanted to do something, but I just didn't know how to, and there was a lot of frustration. And in the media, I really loathed being called an internet sensation and being wheeled out as the bouncy blonde for a 4-minute TV interview. Like, that frustrated me and upset me because I had something to say. And body dissatisfaction, you know, it's causing suicide rates off the charts and eating disorders and anxiety and depression. And it's a really serious subject. But, you know, everywhere I go, I have lovely people like you, so I never feel alone in what I'm doing. And there's so much goodness out there. So, I don't know. My husband would probably say, like, I'm a wreck at home or something. I'm in thongs on my feet. Regardless of whether you're with someone or you're not with someone, it always starts with you. And you have a choice. You can either go down the road of, you know, shame and misery and do that for the rest of your life when it comes to the relationship you have with your body, or you can commit to embracing your body and doing and taking steps every day. And it's like growing a muscle, you know. I didn't wake up one day and just love my body, but I worked on it, and that's what I suggest that everyone does. One exercise that I try and talk about everywhere I go, and we can all do this now, is shut your eyes and take a moment to reflect. What is it that you're going to be thinking about when you take your final breath on this earth? Think about some of the thoughts that are going to be going through your mind in those final few days. Now, I bet no one is thinking about their big bum. Am I right? Or, cellulite, or your stretch marks, or whatever it is that you don't like about your body. So we can either wait to the end and then die, which would be really unfortunate. Or right now, we can make the choice and have perspective and have gratitude for what we have while we're living and breathing and capable and able, and take some of that perspective. It's an exercise you can do a lot more than just that 10 seconds we had when you think about it. You can bring that back to your life now. And we all have access to a really rich and abundant and fun-filled life. We've just got to take it and disempower all that other stuff. It's possible, right? It's very possible. Negative body image is affecting more and more and more men. We know that the use of steroid use in young boys and teenagers is greater than it's ever been. So what I believe has happened is that we've been the focus for a long time, women, and now it's filtered over to children and onto men as well. In terms of men, it's very important that they're part of this body image movement too. This is a problem. This is not a problem just for women. This is a problem for humanity. And when I received the 7,000 emails from people around the world after I posted the before and after photograph, a lot of the commentary and the emails were from men saying, I'm just so devastated that my wife just hates her body, and behind closed doors there's so much heartache and heartbreak. We are queens and kings to our children, and you're right in saying that they see everything we do, they hear everything we say, they're like sponges, and let's just remove the guilt, right? Because we do the very best that we can being a parent, but we don't always get it right. So remove the guilt from the equation. But yeah, there are many things you can do. I think communication and your language is key. How you speak about yourself and how you speak about others, I think that's critical. I often get asked this question, for young girls wanting to be pretty, and I just want to show you how easy it is to tweak your communication. If my daughter came to me and said, Mummy, do I look pretty in this dress? I would say to her, Michaela, I want to know what you're going to do in that dress. So simple. And you can relate that to many, many things. Food is food, and we don't want any emotional attachment to food. It doesn't need to be good or bad. Different foods fuel us in different ways. They make us feel differently. That's what we need to be intuitive about. But who wants to eat chocolate and feel guilt because it's a bad food? Not me. I want to eat chocolate and just enjoy it. So there's that whole thing. Get rid of the scales. Don't diet. You saw it. Diet, 4-letter word. First 3 letters spell die. I mean, if that is not a sign, I don't know what is. But language is the most important. Show your child, show all your children that moving your body can be fun and be free with it. Move your body for pleasure, not for punishment. Again, I've spoken to lots of parents whose children were developing poor body image, and when we sat down and talked about some of the key communication in their home, there was a lot of, oh, mummy's not eating that, mummy's on a diet. Why do you run, mummy? Oh, because I don't want to get fat. It's really damaging, and they take it all in. So there's a handful of things there, but please stay connected, otherwise I'll cry, because I need all of you. So go to the Body Image Movement, share the trailer, tell your friends, this film exists, and all the beautiful things that are happening because of the community are because the goodwill of people, sharing, spreading the love. Yes, lovely to catch up.
Okay, action!
Embrace is my story to discover why so many women hate their bodies and what we can do about it. So I travel all around the world, from the Dominican Republic to Austria, Germany, Canada, the UK, and interview some really amazing women, from Ricky Lake to Amanda de Cadenet, the bearded dame, Hanam. I know there's so many lovely women in this, and it's all about helping women to inspire them to embrace their bodies, which is really important because so many women hate their bodies. So if everyone goes to bodyimagemovement.com, all the details of Embrace are on there, and you can find out where screenings are locally. Also, you can Google Embrace documentary and it'll pop up on Demand Films. And if anyone wants to host a screen, that would be amazing too. So all the details on the website.
And I've also noticed you have ambassadors all over as well, so you can set up your own, as being an ambassador in your own area as well, so you can spread the word and talk to schools and everything. So it's a really great thing. So thank you very much.
It's my pleasure. See everybody.